In this video, you will learn about viewports and how they relate to the implementation of the Spark Scroller component to add scroll bars to your application. You can think of a viewport as a window through which you can view content that is otherwise concealed. Any class that implements the iViewport interface can act as a viewport. The group container and its subclasses vGroup and hGroup can function as viewports. The left side of this schematic illustrates some employee content and a possible viewport in blue for that content. The left side of the schematic shows the implemented viewport with a vertical scroll bar. You may have noticed that the Spark containers are not automatically scrollable. You must use the Spark Scroller component to display horizontal and/or vertical scroll bars. The component will determine which scroll bars are necessary based on the size of the viewport and the content being viewed. You add the scroller component to your containers by wrapping them in the tag. Be careful that you put the size constraint on the scroller itself, not on the viewport container. It will work if you put the constraints on the viewport container, but it is recommended best practice to leave them on the scroller. If you are working with skinnable containers, you must define their scroll bars in their skins. You will learn how to do that in Day 5. Here's the application that I showed you in the last video. I have some header text and then a number of employees listed in a tile layout. I want to make the list display smaller and add a scroll bar, so back in the code, I'm adding a scroller tag around my group container. Note that I'm placing it directly outside my group container, inside the border container instance. This series follows a coding methodology that involves indenting nested tag blocks, so I am highlighting the entire group container and pressing the Tab key on my keyboard to indent it. When I save the file and run the application, you can see that the display looks exactly the same. The scroller component is not constrained in any way, so it automatically expands to the width of the viewport, which is the group container that has all the employees. I am returning to the code and adding a height property set to 300 pixels and a width property set to 300 pixels. When I save the file and run the application again, you can see the smaller viewport area with the appropriate vertical scroll bar. For your next step, work through the exercise titled Experimenting with Container Layouts.